There's a place called a gin mill way down in the slums. There's a place called a gin mill way down in the slums. My baby goes that night and stays till the morning comes.
All right. How's everybody doing tonight?
Doing great.
Howdy. Oh, wait, no. Cowboys not here.
Cowboys
not here.
Cowboy didn't make it tonight.
Oh, well.
I am a little upset about that.
You were looking forward to it.
I was really looking forward to seeing Cowboy tonight.
He was asking about Cowboys since he walked in.
I know, especially after the Jockey Box Hero, you know.
After that performance. At Jockey Box Hero, I mean, that was
you were hoping for an autograph on, like, your back or something.
I needed something.
Moontown.
Finally, yes, after back and forth on Facebook for months.
Coming, yes.
Well, and we met him, what's it been, a year and a half, 2 years?
About 2.5 years now.
Well, for you guys, I met him at Anderson on Tap, not this last one, the one before. That's when I first met him.
We met him at the first Hop Model.
That's right.
And that was our first big event.
Sheena and I, my wife and I were.
Yep, and you guys came up and said, "Hey, what do we do to get on the show?" And I was like, "Who are you?" Because I have no idea what I'm doing. Because this is my first event.
Beer
so
is usually a plus.
He's like, "Oh, we have a brewery," and I'm like, "Yeah, come on the show. Let's talk." So, and you guys had already bought this place then, right?
It was in the works.
It was in the works. Yeah.
It wasn't done yet, but
because you guys were talking a little bit about what your plans were for what you wanted to do with it, and we were like, "Man, that sounds exciting." Exactly. And then we've seen you at several Brewfests since then, and just haven't connected enough to get out here and actually get to see what's going on. So.
I actually keep trying to build their jockey box because theirs was the first cool jockey box I saw at Anderson on Tap. Because you guys have that like big trash can one. Remember I showed you guys pictures of it a long time
talk
ago.
about the trash company that it's from, but it is a big blue trash can.
Yeah, but it works perfect, man.
That holds 4 or 5 gallon kegs very well. So
we
like it.
It's got wheels. It's all set, man. No, I was digging it. It was pretty awesome when I saw it first time. Because that was really my first festival I hit after moving back up here.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the cool thing, we just talked about the history of when we met you guys, but now we're in a building that's going to be your future location for your brewery and tasting room. But the building itself has some pretty significance in history for Whitestown itself, correct?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, there's basically 3 parts to it. One portion of it, there were on each side there were school rooms or school houses that no longer exist. But the exterior walls of those, or really interior walls, have now become the exterior walls of our building. So our exterior walls are built in 1900 something, and then 1915, and then another section was built when? 39, I think.
Yeah, the gym was added between the 2 old schoolhouses in 1939. So before that, this was probably a recess area between the 2 schools.
Okay, so imagine 2 schoolhouses with
playground
a playground in the middle that later became enclosed to be the gym for both schools. And that gym is ultimately going to house the entire brewing facility and bar and all the inner workings of Moontown.
Yeah, I'd say about 90% of the building we're sitting in is just the gymnasium. So,
and when you guys are talking about it, it's really hard to visualize unless you actually come out here and see it for yourself. Because when we pulled up, I'm like, I love this building. I haven't even stepped foot in, and this building's awesome. Then when you come inside, you're like, holy crap, there's so much old exposed brick, and being a show that our origin started from loving the Prohibition era and loving the speakeasies of the time and loving all of that. This is definitely our kind of building because you have that kind of feel to it, the Prohibition style feel, just the the hidden gem kind of feel when you step inside, and we love those kind of places.
Yeah.
So
surely there was some illegal drinking happening under the bleachers at some point during these basketball games.
This is one of those places where definitely if the walls could talk.
Absolutely.
It's
and also even with when this building is finished, you'll feel that history. I mean, right when you walk in, you'll feel it. So we think it's got that wow factor. It's got the beautiful barrel roof on it, and a lot of that, most all of it, will be exposed when you walk in, and there's tons of sunlight in here. So it's as if you walked inside, but you're still drinking outside when you put that beer to your lips the first time. So
are you guys going to is there going to be an outside area?
Yes, there is.
Awesome.
just behind us.
Like a beer garden type area?
Sweet.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Perfect.
I don't know if you saw that concrete pad right outside. When you first walked in, that's our outdoor area.
Gotcha.
Cool. Yeah, and I'm sure every time you guys come here, you guys can see what it looks like finished. Those of us that are just now learning about it and seeing it for the first time, it's probably harder for us to visualize what the finished product's going to look like. But
No,
I'm excited
I went
to
over
see
and
it.
looked at the pictures.
Oh, you look at the blueprints.
You cheated.
cheater.
Cheated.
Yeah,
There are some 3D pics that might help you a little bit to visualize it. But
One other comment about the beer garden is that one of the things that really turned us on to this building was that event space, what we call the event space, is going to be an indoor-outdoor beer garden. So where some of them shut down because it's too cold, this will be year-round.
Move inside.
And we, at this point, we plan on leaving that open Friday and Saturday night until we find out how much it's going to be used. We're not going to book any events on Friday and Saturday night because we think that's going to be a big deal to have that indoor-outdoor beer garden.
kind of an adult playground, you know.
But that's
some
a whole
cornhole setups and that.
You've ever been to Rheingeist or
Oh yeah.
with those big open areas full of cornhole and ping pong tables
yeah.
and communal
yeah.
tables
Very
and
Yep.
you know, people really enjoying the ambiance and the company. That's what we hope for.
Absolutely.
Now, Whitestown's not a big of a town. It is a town, roughly 3,000 to 4,000 people, maybe.
Yeah, you're probably right.
And so, do you guys have ties to Whitestown, or is this just a location that you saw would kind of fit what you were going for?
We grew up in Zionsville, which is
Okay.
a neighboring town just down the road to the east a little bit of here. In Zionsville, for the longest time, Zionsville and Whitestown kind of synonymous with each other in terms of what they're doing, community size and growth. So yeah, I mean that's our tie really, is we live exactly right down the street. 146th Street connects you almost exactly to our backyard where we grew up.
Which is beautiful because 146th Street on my side of town connects me, so it's a straight shot from my house.
Straight
So
shot.
there's no way I
That's
can
right.
get lost going home from Moontown.
There you go.
So
you can
and-
drive straight, you can make it. You can make it
I
there.
always pick the lane in the middle.
That's a good lane to be in.
Yeah, it's
You
a
got,
two-lane
you
road.
got a lot of options when you're in the middle lane.
Exactly.
That can be a bumpy lane when there's medians and things. But
Yeah, you know. That's why I drive a 4x4. So.
But the last 3 to 5 years, Zionsville, Whitestown area especially has been, I think, the fastest growing area in Indiana. So this Anson development, lots and lots of stuff is going in just south of where we are right now. So
That's awesome. So we have one of your beers in front of us. We probably need to talk about this first one we're drinking here.
I already finished mine, guys.
Yeah, I know.
We did too, but that's okay.
I was savoring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what
Sometimes
were we
savory's
drinking? Tell us a little bit about it.
This is our Dad Pete's. This is his original Dortmunder export German lager recipe.
Okay.
This is one of the first beers he ever made. I think it is still to this day the best we've done at the Indiana State Fair is still this beer.
It's probably the one that won us the Whitestown Beer Fest in 2015, which is also a reason why we're here in Whitestown. That's another major tie, is that kind of started the ball rolling.
Oh, wow.
When we won that competition as a home brewer in Whitestown, and we started talking about this location, and now you see what we've got.
So
Absolutely.
home brewing just in 15 and now into an actual brewery?
No,
or were you brewing before 15?
Yeah, he started 15 years ago.
Okay.
And, over the years, Pat and I have helped him out, when we could. But I'd say the last 3 or 4 years, I kind of said, hey, I'd like to really get this down and take it to the next level, I guess. So,
When did you start the lager?
but the lager was
When did we start making it?
Yeah, when did you
Probably
come up with it?
2003.
So see, I think we
Not
talked.
just-
I think we talked about that a little at Jockey Box. I mean,
Yeah.
that's
we did.
A lot of people weren't lagering, but lager is
Yeah.
hard to do, and you don't usually start out with a lager,
Yeah,
especially home brewing.
It wasn't the first one, but it was an early beer. The first one we ever entered in the state fair.
Nice.
So,
And what I'll say about this lager is, A, I love it. B, it's not overly sweet like a domestic lager.
Yeah.
It's got beer flavor to it,
This
and that's
is-
awesome.
Yeah, this is kind of it's a Bavarian, traditional Bavarian lager. This is what you'd probably find at you went to the Hofbrau tent at Oktoberfest, you'd be slamming these all day long. So
Giant pints of they're
huge, yeah, huge
gallons
pints
of it.
Yep.
Nothing
it's-
about this lager is small town. Like
no.
This thing is huge. Like this doesn't say small town, 3,000 people, little homebrew. This is some flavorful lager.
Oh, that's good.
I totally dig this.
Good. I'm glad you like it. Well, that's the goal. I mean, it's still it usually comes out between 5.25%, 5.5%. So you should be getting some nice big flavors, but you can drink it all day long. So that's another thing we like to do.
I got to tell you a little story about the Dortmunder at the State Fair. So I was sitting there with two guys that I didn't know that well at that time, and three of us were sitting at a table. They had turned in an IPA that won the best of show. Those are the two guys that now run Deviate Brewing, and so I had this Dortmunder lager. They got a 36 or a 37, but they won not best of show, best IPA, and so I got my results on the lager. No medals, no nothing, but it was a 44. By far the highest score I've ever gotten. 44 is a world-class beer. So I was all excited. And then I said, why the hell didn't I get a medal?
Yeah,
but we had made a bet that we were going to start a homebrew club, me and the guys from Deviate. And so whoever got the highest score is going to be president. So they still call me El Presidente, even though we didn't win anything.
And we still we're really looking forward to doing some special stuff with those guys. 'Cause everybody knows how good of the beer they're making. So
yeah, and that's actually one we haven't been down to yet either. So we need to get down there and do a show with those guys.
Oh
too,
yeah,
so.
got to.
Great guys,
good guys over there for sure.
A couple of ball busters.
Which is good. Which is good.
Yeah, I'll get a hold of them. We'll get a show set up with them as well. So
Wait, slow down, man. I can only do so many shows a week. I mean, yeah.
we did. We were doing all these festivals, obviously, with all you guys. You know, summer festival. So we haven't been out to breweries. This is like the first brewery we've been out to. So we got back to fall season. I said, guys, I'm going to get some shows booked, and so I booked like 8 in 1 week. And they were like, Jordan, seriously, dude, stop, just chill.
we got to do some work.
We're 8. I got to do my regular job, and we're 8 shows behind, man. I'd like to get them out before 2019. Right. By the way, we're going to broadcast this one before next year's Whitestown Brew Fest.
Oh, no problem.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm good. Dad's passing out more beer already.
We kind of moved on to
He's a good dad.
We went from a nice easy drinking lager. This is our we call it Summer Sunshine. This is a Citra hopped pale ale.
Yeah, it is.
This is just a nice traditional American pale ale.
I love Citra hops.
This has got actually quite a bit of honey as well from our backyard. We've got a family friend that harvests honey, and we use some of that in this beer. So,
wow,
Citra hops and honey usually go pretty well for me. So,
I'm going to say the nose
solid.
is a bit deceiving because I expected a little bit more citrus in the taste and the back end, but it's subtle enough where it's nice. It's very smooth. It's not overpowering. You don't get lost in anything. You can kind of taste the honey. You can taste the citrus.
Yep.
You can taste everything.
Yep.
It finishes nice and dry too. I like where it just cleans up so dry at the end.
Yeah, that's kind of what you get with honey for sure. Honey tends to ferment pretty dry and give you that dry character, which is I agree with you on that.
Yep, and it's not bitter. It's just nice and dry.
Yeah,
because sometimes people will overhop it, and then the bitterness dries it out. But it's that bitter drying, not just a nice clean dry finish. Big difference there. So,
and this is what we've been doing for a while too. So it's we've worked on that quite a bit. So 5.5%. It's 5.5%. Again, I think most of the things we brought, except for our breakfast stout, everything is pretty balanced. I mean, that's the goal.
Yeah,
it's good.
And doing the show long enough, you guys are again doing it the right way. You know, brewers are staying between 5 and 7% alcohol. When you start getting those higher ones, you know, your people, they're not going to drink as much. They have 2 or 3 11% beers. They're out.
True.
You know, you guys are here to make money. Let's face it. You know, so
we'd like them to be coherent sitting in their chair.
Right, and you're gonna have a nice brand new facility. You don't want people throwing up everywhere either. So
they got to be able to pay the bill at the end of the night.
Wait, this isn't the Double Deuce? Wait,
Double Deuce.
This is not the William from the Jockey Box Hero. That was a big one we brought. I think you guys like that a little bit. Huh?
Yeah.
William was awesome.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Summer sun.
Yep.
Again, I've been waiting on your beers for like a year. It's for 2 years now. Jesus, I hadn't seen you guys anywhere.
Yeah, well,
you guys were too busy.
You can
guys
find
were
us on the
busy.
corner of 146 and Michigan Road right now, if you really want to know. Yeah, we were just lurking in the shadows making beers. So.
It's still, but you're doing good with it. So
now, for future reference, how stocked are you going to be? What are you going to be offering? Say opening day. It's going to be March, April next year. What do you have in store for us?
So the goal for grand opening, the goal is St. Patrick's Day. I think that's the first weekend of March Madness too. So I think it's around March 16th, March 17th of next year.
But you're opening up before that, right?
Yeah,
that's the actual.
So we're kind of calling it the tasting room, but basically that means we'll be selling beer out of here between December and January 1st. So we will be selling beer for a few months before our grand opening, but we'll start brewing on our 15-barrel system.
That's what I was getting ready to ask. How big?
I knew you were going to ask that. I figured I'd throw that in there. 15 barrels. We're going to start brewing as soon as we possibly can, which we think is November 1st.
Okay.
And we're going to fill up every single fermenter we got, which will be 8 fermenters.
Damn.
So,
yeah, we should have.
5 fermenters, 8 bright tanks.
Oh, sorry, I had that mixed up. So, we'll fill up every fermenter.
We should have 8 to 10 beers.
So 8 to 10 different beers.
For sure, ready to drink between December and our grand opening. And once we're open with the brew pub and restaurant, the event space, we'll have consistently 8 to 10 beers on tap.
So you're going to be serving right out of bright tanks. You're not going to be doing a keg system.
Correct. There will be some kegs for. There's always special exceptions. But,
right. But I mean, generally speaking, it's going to come straight from the bright tank to the tap and then out.
Yep. Correct.
Okay.
That's right.
Okay.
Wow. I mean, that's the way we've always wanted to do it. Every brewery we walk of that we absolutely love it seems like the beer's coming right from the bright tank.
Right.
It's just.
And I've seen it both ways. I see a lot of people that still do the kegs. They have fridges full of kegs, and then you've seen people that serve it right from the bright tank. So, the bright tank it gives it a sense of being fresher, whether it is or not. You feel like it goes from the fermenter to the bright tank and it's going right in your glass.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Because there's this thing about it going into a keg where people say, well, how long has that keg been in the fridge?
Yeah.
Who's ever asked you how long has the beer been in the bright tank?
Right.
They just don't say that.
It's bright, it's bright beer. It's in a bright. I mean, it's fresh. Ready to go.
It's
exactly.
new to the tank. So,
8 to 10 beers always. The goal is to have 4 to 5 house beers that we'll always have, and then 4 to 5 rotating, just kind of depending on.
Are you going to do any guest taps at all? Or are you going to keep it mostly to yourselves?
Oh, man, a great point of debate for all of us.
It's on the table already. You guys have been talking about it, haven't you?
We've been talking about that for a long time. But we came to, no, actually, we will not have guest taps. So it'll be all Moontown beer on tap.
That's fair.
They'll do collabs. You're talking about doing collabs, though.
Oh,
just collab beers,
but
not necessarily. Okay.
Yeah. So we'll at least have been involved in the beers for the collab beers, but we'll also do liquor and wine too. So
really? You guys
all those
license
people
and everything too?
Beer. Yeah,
awesome.
we'll do a 3-way license.
That's a good point.
Did you guys have to do anything with the sorry? My mic's all kind of echo in my ears, but did you have to do anything with the government or anything to get? Did they allow the brewery, or do you have to get the laws changed at all?
No, that's part of the story from that 2015 Brewfest. We were approached by Whitestown to bring a brewery here.
Oh, damn!
And and us and others, but we pursued it, and was the fall of 15 until June of this year. It took us that long to work out our deal.
Goodness gracious!
And that's when we started construction. But we that's why we've been working on it so long. But Whitestown's our partner in this deal in the sense that we collaborated on this deal. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good thing for Whitestown.
So
not only are you going to bring money to your brewer, you're going to bring money to the town itself.
That's the hope. The businesses here are excited about it. LA Cafe, the Legion, they've already asked for us to provide kegs for them, which we will do. So it's going to be a big deal for Whitestown. We hope. That's our
cool.
plan. And the neighbors too. The neighbors are aware of it. There was public hearings, all that. But
that's definitely, I was thinking, a concern because they're pretty close right there.
Yeah.
I'd be happy if I was right there. Are you kidding me?
Well, no, yes, but
I mean, you're talking not even stumbling distance. I could go home and pee and come back. I mean, it's like right there.
I bought a retirement lot across the street, so let's face it.
I could go home, use the bathroom, and it'd be closer than going to the bathroom inside the building. Like, quite literally. That's awesome.
Yep.
Well, I just meant for the ones already living here. That's still, depending on the noise, and, you gotta, some people get concerned about that.
Oh, there has been a little bit of.
Yeah, there was some opposition, but in general, they were so tired of seeing this thing sitting here, nobody do anything, nobody spend any money to really fix it up. So the people are excited. The people around us are excited. They come by every day. I'm sure there'll be some issues with parking and noise occasionally, but they're excited.
Actually, hell, some of them might just start charging $5 for parking on their lawn.
Yeah.
Hey, there you go.
That's an idea.
Event parking.
It works for Speedway, right? So,
I can tell you when we were standing outside waiting, when you guys weren't quite here yet, we're standing out there, people were driving by waving at us and stuff. They're probably like, what the hell are these three guys in gray shirts doing, just standing out here staring at that
Those must
building?
be the boys of Moontown right there.
or the paint crew. One of the two.
yeah, one or the other.
Some crew.
Look like a strange old man chubby scooter club.
Now there's an idea.
They're a little early for the grand
You
opening.
should approach Whitestown with that one for sure. The other thing about our relationship with Whitestown has this ultimate plan to bring more business and people into downtown Whitestown. So there's really kind of two separate areas right now. There's old downtown, and then there's the Anson development where you have the Amazons of the world, and you also have the new starter homes and apartments and all of that stuff going on in the chain restaurants. But they call this area that we're in the legacy core. And quite literally, we are the core of the legacy core. And so that was another big part of when they approached us. We said, what's your plan? And they started talking about that, and we saw it. And we jumped on board with their vision, and we think it can work. So
there's a lot of construction going on too. All the roads are getting redone.
Yeah, they're improving utilities.
Mm-hmm.
The sewer system is getting improvements. They're finally bringing gas out here, natural gas. So
oh, really?
Yeah. So
I did not know that. Yeah, I saw them because I did see a lot of groundwork, so I wasn't sure if they were burying utilities or I guess running the gas finally.
Yeah, all that work is related to utilities
gone.
Underground. So.
Dad yelled at us and said we had to finish our beers or he wouldn't give us another one.
Yeah, I know, right?
Dad's orders. Yeah. Let's keep drinking beer.
Like, I'm not getting another one until they finish them.
I don't see Hell yeah. I don't see 6 empty glasses there.
I'm gonna call you Dad when this in March and April. See how you like that. I'm gonna crash out back, or can I just start?
Give
tab?
me another one. Yeah. Just one more, please.
Dad's gonna be like, that didn't work at home. You think it's gonna work here? No.
I got the red IPA. That's this one.
I still think you guys need to do some of my ideas from Jockey Box Hero. I think I had some good ones there. The bar should be underneath a set of bleachers, Or
that's
all the
right.
chairs should be little annoying desks that you can't really fit into.
That you flip open.
Well, either the flip open ones or the college ones with the little, with just a little writing thing on the side.
We did have a meeting with the architects that have been doing the design in here last week, and in the event space, they had a great idea to find the tops of the seats for old bleachers with the numbered
They're
seats.
numbered.
Oh, that would be awesome.
And to kind of use that as like a border in the event space.
That'd be cool.
That'd be cool.
To pay a little bit of homage to what this is. So
I would have thought, you guys said there was that half basement. That would have been. Part of me thinks that would have been kind of cool to leave it there, but part of me thinks you don't want to know what would have went on down there. Because I'm imagining back in the day, a lot of bad shit went on down there.
There was a basement?
There was a half basement where the lockers were, and the only light was from the windows. So in other words, you have a dark 6-foot basement down there with a bunch of kids.
Did you seal it up?
I'm sure nothing bad ever happened down there.
Never.
Did you seal it up? Or did you fill it?
Or
did you fill it in?
It's all been filled in.
Okay,
so
filled
we
in.
tore out the locker rooms that were in there and filled it in with concrete. So
Had it exorcised from a local Catholic priest, and
all those bad memories are now buried in concrete. Okay,
Great. They're gonna show up after hours.
depends on how much beer you drink. Really,
Exactly. Who's that chick at
Well,
the
I
end of the
heard-
bar? There's no chick at the end of the
Yeah.
bar. What?
someone just told me to drink more beer. Was that you? Or?
have those speakers up, like the PA speakers for when the principal would just kind of and start yelling at people.
That's a good idea.
Those wooden, those like
we
you
could
know
have
those
a
wooden
bell
ones.
every hour, like a drinking bell.
Yeah.
Now on tap.
Yeah.
Now on tap.
Are you guys recording this? Hopefully, 'Cause
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to
absolutely.
go back on this.
Yeah, let's keep spitballing ideas here, guys.
This is good. No ideas too out there.
And all those.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
We have a new beer in front of us, so go ahead and tell us about
awesome.
We do have a new beer.
First, a little more about the construction and design. We teamed with SODA, which is Swanson Office of Design and Architecture. Chris Swanson, she's got a great vision for the space. So a lot of what we're doing, and she jumped on board with us on it, is salvaging as much as we possibly can.
I saw that in some.
There's going to be a lot of elements, especially the structure itself. So everything's exposed. When you get here to have your first beer at Moontown, you're going to see exposed brick, exposed ceramic block, exposed giant steel trusses that span the entire area.
Exposed Jordan.
there will never be an exposed Jordan.
Blind pigs.
Exposed cowboy will be in here
That's
at
when
some
Dad
point.
cuts you off.
That one I can see happening.
I think I saw exposed cowboy at Jockey Box Hero at some point.
Everywhere you go.
Yeah, that was a lot of belly. Yeah, that was a lot of belly.
Yeah, that counts for
Dad
him.
was afraid of that one. Let's just say he didn't go. One other thing I want to mention that salvage. We took it even further. There'll be some steel elements in here that were the bleacher supports. We sent them to a steel guy, said, make these in what we want. So we're using it as it was. The wood. Well, the other big deal is we had let's call it Boone County salvage. We had a tree in our yard fall, a 125-year-old tree that we cut down in 2015. Just fell down one day, 42-inch diameter. That piece of wood will make enough tables for the whole brew pub and some of the event space.
Damn.
You'll see them when you get here, all out of that one tree. So
That's
And
awesome.
they're really, really cool.
and the bar top.
The bar top will be made with all that. Yep.
Did I see some? I saw in some of the renders, and maybe that's not happening. Like some of the rafters or anything are going to be some wood or reclaimed. There's going to be a lot of wood, and it's going to be a lot of wood and brick. Basically, is what I looked at. But obviously, plans change over time. But
That's correct.
okay. Yeah.
Unless we run out of money, then it'll be a lot of brick. Just like you see today.
Yeah. It'll be what's here.
Metal studs, no drywall. You'll be fine.
Who needs walls?
It's done. Yeah. Although at least like tack in those steel beams that I was leaning up against that were wiggling that I probably shouldn't have been leaning up against.
We'll put warning signs on them. Don't
We'll
get
get to it
nervous.
tomorrow. We'll just mark the ones that need to be.
Don't touch.
In my opinion, you guys just clear the floors off here. You get all the tanks in, get the kitchen equipment in. Let's roll.
Yeah, that's ready
I think
to
it's
go.
perfect the way it
that's
is right
ready
now.
to
I
go.
mean, we're successfully finishing beers right now as we speak.
Yeah,
so,
we are.
yeah.
We are. So speaking of this is a kind of a unique beer. This is a red IPA. This was inspired by, I was a big fan of Oscar Blues Goodnight. It's their red IPA. Theirs is an Imperial. But this is 6.5%. It's got a pretty good malty backbone, but
That's an IPA I like.
Nugget, Columbus, all Simcoe dry hopped. So it's kind of a nice blend of your typical malty red ales with a good dry hopped.
Yeah, see, that one is one I like. I'm not big on the IPAs. Citra always, while I did like your other one, Citra's not my thing.
Yeah.
Citra hits me weird, and it's just...
It's like some people with cilantro.
Right. Well, yeah. Cowboys like that, I think.
So
Cowboy hates cilantro.
And
But
Pete.
this is 6.5%, so it's stepped up a little bit. But again, it's about balance, you know.
So I'm not normally a sweet beer person. When I first tasted it, it's sweet, but then the hops take the sweetness out immediately. So you get the hint of sweet, and then it goes away, and that's awesome. Because
feels a
sometimes
little
reds
backwards.
are super sweet.
Feels
Exactly.
like backwards from that other IPA.
Exactly.
Right. Yes.
That was hop forward,
Mm-hmm.
straight up hop forward.
Yep.
This is a little more...
Right.
Yeah.
Because if you do like a mainstream like a Killian's, to me it just tastes syrupy. It's
Sure.
it's-
Sure.
That's what it tastes like. So.
this is kind of the anti-Killians for me.
Yeah, because I stay away from reds just because people just tend to sugar the crap out of them.
Exactly.
But and this one does have that red sweetness, but then the hops finish it nicely.
Mm-hmm.
So.
I get strong passion fruit for sweetness, but then there's that nice hoppy
Right.
finishing touch at the end, which kind of drew me in. Honestly, Bobby's been working on this one for a few years, and I got to say, this is your best one. So congratulations.
Hey, thanks. Hey, thanks, brother. I appreciate that.
One other comment. They made this for a party. I don't know what was going on at the party, but it's called the Redemption Red.
It is, yes.
And we strive for 6.66%. And we hit it on the first one, so I don't know what that's all about.
The first time we made it was around Halloween. So
There
we
you
went
go.
6.66%. So it always is around 6.5,
So it's stuck.
6.6%.
We couldn't stop making it. It was fate.
Yeah.
Shouldn't have just
Don't
called
stop
it
making it.
Call it the Beast.
Yeah. The number of the
The Damien Red.
Beast,
The Damien Red.
Damien Red. Nice.
The Damien Red. I like that.
Copyright Blind Pigs 2017.
Damn. Missed it by that much.
Damn it.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
Just give me free beer. You can have it.
So
I think a lot faster if my cup was filled more often.
Hey, Pop is pushing the beer.
I know.
He is
Yeah.
pushing, he is pushing
Pop's
pretty well.
bartending.
This is a beer talk show, isn't it?
Pop's bartending
That's
pretty good.
we do talk a lot of beer. That's why we're here, and you guys make some great beers. I mean, we've had your beer before, and you guys have not disappointed yet. So
What have you had from
It's
some
great
other
to hear.
ones lately? I mean, you've been hitting
From
some
what?
of the brew fests. You've been hitting some of the brew fests. And,
Yeah.
What are some of the other breweries that you've
Well,
liked?
I would say
out
right
there?
off the bat, we already touched on Deviate, but I'm a
Deviate.
huge fan of their beer.
Awesome.
They do.
They're over up on where are they at?
96 in Michigan Road.
That's right. Yeah.
I mean, I think the lightest beer
On the
they
northeast
make
corner.
is 7% alcohol. So they are big. They do big beers, but with tons and tons of flavor, and they're not afraid to do anything. And I think that's something I respect about them a lot.
admirable.
And they do it really well. I mean, there's a lot of people that aren't afraid to do anything, and it kind of turns out being not very good. But
Yeah.
they do it really well. As far as Indianapolis, I'm a big fan of Blackacre. I think they
I've had
do
some good ones from them. Yeah.
I think they do some nice hoppy stuff, good balanced stuff too. That's one of the things I like about them. And then
they make your
Daredevil,
sours down there a lot too.
Yeah, they do.
they do some nice sours too. Yeah, absolutely. And then Daredevil. I mean, I think they're in Indianapolis. They're probably the best as far as hops go.
Okay.
I'm probably the biggest hophead of all of us, so that's what I usually talk about. But I don't limit it, obviously.
Yeah,
I
I'm
drink a lot of
the
other stuff.
stouts and porters and either extreme. It's either stouts and porters or sours
Yeah.
and lagers and yeah.
But outside of Indianapolis, I think Bare Hands is really good.
Oh,
out
yeah.
in Mishawaka. 18th Street is probably my
Granger.
favorite in Indiana right now.
18th Street got some good stuff. Yes,
always
they do.
Three Floyds. Upland does really nice sours.
I feel like we've
Champagne
always...
Velvet is one of my favorite beers.
Oh, really?
I love Champagne
It is.
Velvet.
It's a
Staple.
Yeah, that's a nice dry one. You mentioned
It is a
the-
good dry
the
lager
dry
for sure.
factor on that last IPA. I do
Yep,
appreciate
exactly.
that.
What about you, Pat?
I mean, Three Floyds are always, it's got a special place in my heart because my better half, my wife, is from Munster and is walking distance. Her parents are walking distance from the brewery. So that one's always been the one for me. Even though their brew pub is kind of dark and they play some pretty wild music, I don't listen to that every day on the way to work, I swear. But when I go in there, I'm like, God, I think I'm a gothic person.
You know the lyrics to every song.
Yeah, it goes
How
like
do I
this.
know this?
Something like that.
If you could call it lyrics, I guess.
But yeah, I mean, Three Floyds, and then honestly, I've probably had more breweries outside of the state than I have in the state. Not to say I don't like places like Indiana City and Round Town. I love Round Town. And
Round
what they're
Town's
doing
good stuff.
for sure.
Yeah.
But when I travel for work and for play, I'm always seeking out different breweries out of town,
course.
and am inspired by what they're trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
Places like. We were in Burlington for a while, so we went to Fiddlehead. We, of course, went to the Alchemist and some other places like that. And those are the ones that really inspire me in terms of what they do brewing-wise, but also design-wise. Some of the spaces they have in restaurants and the food they put out is it's really cool.
Yeah,
And
it's
and
impressive.
It's fun
sure.
to visit and do stuff like that.
So I don't know if you guys knew this or not, but we actually had a beer on tap for a while. We were brewing in the garage, and then Redemption picked up our beer.
Oh,
and they
nice.
brewed it for
Nice.
us up there. Dan up there brewed it for us, and we
cool.
had the
Redemption
we
Ale
had the
Works.
Suey Saison on tap all summer long.
Okay,
So I'm working with them again now. We're brewing another one. We're gonna have one on this winter.
Cool.
Coming up whenever we get a chance to brew again. But
That's why he was asking about guest taps. So
Shameless plug.
no, because we don't
Jordan's
take any
dank
money from
saison.
we don't take any money from our tap. Dan gets all our money. It just has our name on it, which is beautiful. It gives us advertising. No, and so I have a lot of respect for Dan. He does a really good job, and they have phenomenal food up there. So that's one thing I'm looking forward to you guys seeing what kind of food you're going to have on your menu too, because
What pairings?
Yeah,
with-
wait, who's cooking? Oh, Dad, here comes Dad.
Yeah.
Back in the mix, so to speak. We're going to have the 3 basic food groups: barbecue, pizza, and burgers.
Okay.
In many different fashions.
There you go.
That works.
There you go.
It'd be like the high school pizzas. It'd just be like the cafeteria line, big giant thing of nacho cheese at the end, some fries.
I think it's going to be a lot of
I'll
Jack's
throw it out
pizzas.
there. I'm from
Tony's.
Texas, so I know how to barbecue.
hired.
So
Pat's hired.
Dad just said I'm hired to design stuff. I'm just going to come out with ideas.
If you could have the pumpable butter.
The cafeteria trays is a great idea. I think that's awesome. I mean,
Frito-
nobody does that.
Walking,
That's
walking
true.
tacos.
walking tacos, Fritos.
Yeah, walking
Tacos are
tacos are
great.
the bomb.
I don't know anybody who doesn't like
Little
walking
rectangle
tacos.
schoolhouse pizzas.
We
Those
had
things
the
are,
whole, I keep thinking back because Jordan and I went to high school together, and I do
the
I-
mini
I-
max. I loved mini max in high school.
But I think back to the crap they put on those plates in high school, and you're just like, we had the big giant thing of nacho cheese, and you just get fries and a big bowl, and they didn't ask how much. You just got a big ass bowl of nacho cheese.
Slop on some sloppy
eat it with a
joes.
spoon. If you were broke that day, you just bought fries and just loaded it up with cheese.
Yeah.
Made it extra sloppy for you.
I can't recall there being like vegetables anywhere.
We always get
Pat, there
excited
was.
about
It was called the hot food line. We went through a la carte.
Oh shit, that's right. Yeah.
That's where the mini max and the pizzas and the
spicy
freaking
chicken
nachos,
sandwiches.
yeah, and all that stuff was.
hamburger and the foil things just grab. You know,
That was the
it was
mini
basically
max. That's what I was
7-Eleven.
saying.
Yeah, it was basically like 7-Eleven food.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
I
Roller
miss it. I
dogs.
thought the food was good. Nowadays, they don't let kids eat that shit at school. My kids aren't allowed to have any of that.
Well, look at us.
It's all like, good
What
point.
happens
Point
when
well
you-
taken.
What happens when you feed kids that for high school? That's what they learn how to eat the rest of their time.
My preschooler just like I get to report what he eats every day and so on. And for lunch a couple of days ago, I was looking at the report and he was like, "Oh yeah, he ate all of his broccoli and he drank all of his milk and he loved his chicken teriyaki with chicken fried rice." I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "I had a Snickers bar and a Red Bull for lunch." I'm like, "He ate better than I did."
Real nice.
Thursday's sushi, and Fridays is jeez.
Tofu.
Like, man,
With their own
Tofu
in-house
Fridays.
sushi roller.
burgers and such.
Kids getting Ruth's Chris on Wednesdays.
Man.
They should. Have you ever seen the price that they charge for the Fishers high schools now?
No, do they?
Holy shit.
I used to go with like $3.
What is it, like private school now? You're going.
No, like
Fishers
so
High.
I took my daughter in for high school, and literally I added it up. So if I would have bought everything they wanted me to buy or donate to or whatever the first day of school, it would have been about $900 without
what?
buying any books.
For what?
For what the hell they want you to?
They sent out
That's
a
for
booklet.
tofu.
They
Meal
send a
package.
booklet out now that has all these different things they want you to buy, and they want you to purchase at the school. They want you to do this. They want you to do that. And I'm like,
is
I
that
just
her
throw it
lunch?
away, and I'm like, what does she absolutely need? Because none of that shit's happening.
What do they pay for lunch? Do they have to buy like a lunch pass?
Their
or
lunches are about
something now?
$4 now.
Is it a pass they like buy? Like college, remember you used to get like the card you swipe.
You have
and
a
it just
number now. You
automatically-
put like a pin,
prepaid
like
They put in a
pin
pin.
code.
Holy crap! Really?
So you can send a check, or if you pay online with a credit card, you get charged $3 to do that.
I had to just take
They charge
cash
for
every
everything.
day.
They still have vending machines. I mean, just
Only
send
with
them,
diet
just
soda.
Send them to the vending
Yeah, it's
machine.
diet soda.
Diet soda and healthy snacks only in the vending
Oh.
machines.
There ain't nothing healthy about diet soda.
Yeah, there's
Right.
not.
I know that, but that's
what's
what they
what's so
have.
wrong with a good Funyun every once in a while, right?
Okay.
There's nothing
Exactly.
wrong. There's
It rhymes
absolutely
with
nothing.
They have them,
Funyun?
but they're baked.
Oh.
They have the baked chips now.
Baked Funyuns?
Well, I don't know what the Funyun. I don't know if they have Funyuns.
They probably Funyuns aren't even on the menu.
That's not even a Funyun anymore.
Those are those.
after it's
That,
been
yeah, but aren't
baked.
those ones that had that olestra and just make you like leak anally?
Nobody likes
That's
anal
a-
leakage. Okay.
That is a great place to take a quick break. So we'll take a quick break here, and we'll be back in a minute.
Anal leakage.
Where's the porta potty?
This is Ron Smith, and you're listening to Blind Pig Confessions.
All right, so we're back after that. Pat had to use the facilities real quick so we could return to the show. And
No, that was not. That was just joking. We were talking about olestra and horrible foods. And
so
Let's go back to food real quick.
uh-huh.
We are going to focus on locally sourced ingredients. That's
Excellent.
up here, and we're surrounded by farmland, and there's no reason not to get those people and those organizations involved. So,
Now, you
Yeah,
mentioned
plan to
like
focus on.
in your citrus beer, your honey came from a local
That's
right.
my backyard.
your backyard. Oh, perfect.
and
I
the
couldn't get
maple,
much more local than that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
the maple syrup
We're gonna-
we put in this breakfast style you're about to drink comes from trees. all in Boone County, basically.
Nice.
So,
Same guy who does the honey. Taps all the maple trees in his yard and a few other places, and
Got all those tubes running like in between trees and
exactly.
all drain.
Yeah, down to the 5-gallon buckets.
Yep, I've seen some of those. Yeah, I've seen some of those like farms and all that. And there's just depending on how they. Some of them just put the bucket underneath each tree. Others like string all these hoses between them so that it all runs into like more of a central place. Yeah, I've seen some of those. Those are
in the
cool.
beer and in the food, we plan to keep that present all the time. So
we're actually going to a hop farm next Tuesday. I'll show you that hop farm down in Columbus.
Which one is it?
What is it called, Pat?
812.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I know of him.
We're going to be down there doing a show. We've never done a show at a hop farm, so
I am going to die.
It's going to smell great.
No, I'm going to die.
His allergies are going to kill him.
Yeah. See, I can't. That's the big one of the things I like. We'll go to breweries where we'll go and and you see people like just putting the hops in there. Here, smell these, and and like no. We went down and just did like a an old school cruising Broad Ripple kind of thing and hitting a few, and we hit Broad Ripple Brew Pub. And they have hops hanging up in their place too, we walked in and within 15 minutes I had to leave, basically because I couldn't stop sneezing, and I sneezed for like 3 days to the point where, my stomach and my chest, it was like one of those nights after you're dry heaving for too long, Or done a lot of sit-ups, I guess, too.
You should take a vacation day that day.
Yeah. Oh, my God. It was awful.
You can have your EpiPen with you, right?
Oh, yeah. I have my EpiPen with me. I'm on allergy shots now, so I'm hopefully, hopefully they'll do me a little better and I won't completely die while I'm down there.
A little steroid never hurt anybody. Especially not Barry Bonds.
Yeah. That's right.
A-Rod.
Or A-Rod. Have you seen J-Lo these days? Come on.
Yeah, he's got to
he's
still
doing just fine.
Yeah. He's got to be taking something to keep up with
He
that.
must be off the roids if he's with J-Lo now.
Yeah.
He's begging her to put shots in her ass.
No pun intended.
Right.
Wow.
Damn.
It's not always about beer here.
I have nothing else to say about that. And I will talk about this beer we just poured.
There you go. Tell us about
Speaking
it.
of J-Lo's ass.
This is our breakfast out. We call it sometimes we do go with our moon puns being Moontown. So this one is Bright Side of the Moon.
Right.
We're music fans too, so it's a nice fit. This one is not barrel aged, but it is aged a year. We made this last year. I think May of last year, so it's actually a little older than a year. Close to 8%. Like we said, local maple syrup, a lot of cocoa nibs in this. Local coffee. We usually mix it between. I think the last one we just made was Hubbard and Craven's coffee in Broad Ripple. We've got some. We sourced some from Traders Point Creamery one time with a batch we did. So. Again, going with the local theme, we try to do that as much as we can. So, this one.
Oh yes, sir. I'm good with it. Yeah, I can guess. Yeah, I get the coffee bitters, the cocoa in there. Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
And this one has really turned out. After sitting this long, it's nice and balanced, nice and drinkable. Around 8%, you wouldn't really. I mean, you can taste a little bit of booze, but
You get a little heat.
Yeah, a little bit of heat
on the end, but not.
Yeah.
And it doesn't linger. It doesn't burn in the throat. You just kind of feel it there.
Yeah, you can, tasting it when we first brewed it, and now it definitely that heat waned off for sure. So
yeah, definitely. Yeah,
you can taste that it's over 7.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But
definitely.
It doesn't hurt. It's not a horrible burn. Right. I found with a lot of the higher volume or the higher alcohol beers that it's like, even if it has good flavor, it's like you're swallowing acid.
Mm-hmm. That can be that way for sure.
Yeah.
So this one definitely doesn't have that, but I can definitely taste the cocoa in it. Get that for sure. I can pick up the coffee notes in it.
Nice.
It's clean. It's definitely clean, and I don't mind the afterburn in it at all. It's very subtle, but you definitely tell it's got a little bit more alcohol there.
I'm gonna need a permission slip so that I can tell my boss that this is breakfast.
I'll write and sign that for you, but it may not get you anywhere.
So, are you guys when you guys open the brew house, for example? This is an 8%er.
Yep.
You're going to be serving those in the 10-ounce.
Yeah, probably. The goal is actually Pat and I talked about this recently. Having different sizes for all the beers that we'll have. So, not everybody even if it's a sessionable 4.5-5% beer. Not everybody wants a pint, so we want to be able to offer your 4 or 5 ounce flight glasses, 6 ounce, 8 ounce, 12 ounce, and pint. So you could really come in and get 4 or 6 ounce glasses of whatever you want. You can kind of mix and match and choose what you want. So.
Is that how you're going to do your flights, or will you have an actual flight?
Well, the flights
board?
will be there'll be a certain. I think that's a standard 5 ounce pour. I think a flight 4 or 5 ounce pour. Mm-hmm. So we'll have flights.
Microbreweries now are doing where they offer like a 5 ounce beer as an option, and then their flight. Do you have a flight? No, just pick out whatever 5 ounce beers you want. So I didn't know if you guys are going to have a flight or.
We'll have we'll have your standard flight, but you can again. That's the idea. This one, we don't want to only offer it in a 10 ounce glass. If somebody just wants a flight pour or a 6 ounce pour, then
I don't think there's any problem being flexible in that sense. Being able to accommodate anybody at whatever the time. If someone's in here eating lunch and they have to go back and do some work, why not have a 5 ounce pour, of a beer that they really prefer to drink?
So there was one Metazoa. Metazoa had these ginormous flight boards,
like 8 beers per flight.
Oh, I've seen
and
those.
then they brought
shaped like animals too.
And then they brought us each out 2.
No, 4.
Well, I mean, each of us had 2 apiece because it was like 16 beers each.
Yeah.
We were like, holy.
And then we did it again on hour 2.
And that went even better.
Oh god, yeah. We got in trouble. We got in a little bit of a fight that night. Well, not a fight that night. We got in a little bit of a match with the. They had some group that was trying to show a movie. And it was that movie where they
not
talked,
like the bar themselves.
Yeah, but it was that movie with the
one where the bear eats
the guy. Eats the guy. The guy's like
The Revenant.
The guy no. This is like a documentary one.
Oh,
where this guy is out on like an island with bears, and he is he is not qualified to be out there.
He
with
just
bears.
like lives amongst the bears.
Yes, and then they eat him at
and
the
then
end.
they kill him. Yeah.
Yes,
which how could you not predict that? I mean,
well, it was also like a 2-year-old movie.
It was
like an art house. Yeah, they kept shushing
loud.
us. We were a little loud because we didn't know they had that. Nobody told us.
We were like,
overlapped.
sorry, 3 flights in. I'm sorry we're being loud. We don't,
We all know what's going to happen here, guys. The guy's going to get eaten by a bear.
Yeah.
Right.
I was like, somebody needs to say it. Somebody just needs
we
to tell
did,
them what
yeah.
happens so they leave. You say, he gets eaten, and then you can move on.
And we did. Robert Rolf Feddersen did that.
Yeah.
We have a drop. One of our friends, a musician. But we have a drop that he did. We occasionally just drop into all our shows here and there.
That actually is one of the ideas we're kicking around, is having a movie night some nights during the week, because we plan to have a big projection screen in our.
But you need to get the old school. You need to get the old school like projectors.
Oh, okay.
Like in if they did in class.
First night start with Strange Brew.
Are your memos?
Oh, you could do your specials, like your daily specials, up on a board. But it's that remember that big ass projector that just had a big light and you had to write on the plastic. They wrote on the plastic an overhead.
Oh,
you just have that and display up your
clear
special.
sheets for slides that you put on there and write on.
Crank your menus out on a mimeograph machine.
There you go. All that ink and that nastiness.
Ink, everything purple and white and smeared.
That was John, ladies and gentlemen. That's the first time John has spoken this entire show.
John, when did you get here?
Dynamite drop in, John.
John, do you want a sandwich?
I think John's been doing the best job tonight.
I'm a listener and learner.
Been really impressed with
MVP for sure.
You guys should do a movie night, though, and if you decide to do the movie you're talking about, you just make sure you lock the doors. That's when it becomes a speakeasy, and you just be careful who you let in. Other than that, you're good.
We don't judge anybody,
Or just randomly throughout the night, just have a projector going with some of those old school, high school, science movies.
PSAs.
And PSAs.
That would be awesome.
Like, wear your seatbelt. All the bloody gore stuff.
I'm in high school. I haven't flashed.
That's awesome.
What was the weed movie? The one.
Reefer Madness.
Reefer
We could
Madness.
have Reefer Madness going.
Hell yeah, there you go.
That'd be fun.
Furthermore, Susan, I think they
Free
were
beer.
smoking marijuana cigarettes.
Discounts if you wear your Letterman's jacket in.
Even if the arms are up here and you can't even button it anymore.
Right.
Or cheerleader outfit.
I think I still might have
Ooh.
one. No, not the cheerleader
I'm coming
outfit.
on cheerleader night. Yes,
That's right.
Can we do a cheerleader night here? That would be awesome.
Remember, they closed in '62.
Oh.
You might have missed that boat.
Maybe not.
Well, we didn't say it had to be a school reunion.
Yeah.
You're saying the general populace could wear their cheerleader outfits in.
Like poodle
Nostalgia.
skirts and sock hops and
There you go.
Yes, that's exactly what we were
Sock
thinking.
hops, yes, because I had a lot of sock hops at my high school.
I don't know what that is.
I'm not that
actually.
old. Exactly.
I did for some reason.
Oh, geez, how old are you?
A little bit older than you.
Okay. Good Lord, I'm not. No, I think you're. I think you
couple
think
years,
I'm older than.
a couple years makes that much difference.
I guess.
Sock
yeah.
hops
I
or
went
no
to
sock
I went
hops?
to a weird high school.
Oh yes, please.
I think one of the things we forgot to talk about is Cody, our head brewer. We didn't talk about. I think we need to give him some props.
Cody Doty.
So,
Wait,
Pat,
I thought you
why
guys
don't you
did
talk
all
about
this.
that,
I thought it was just all you and Dad.
well, we do, but we had to bring somebody
A
else.
certain
and
amount
Pat
of
talk
expertise. We can tell jokes all day. So Cody and I, he's a college buddy of mine. Lived in the same house. He actually brewed with me, home brewing in our house at Purdue. Is where Cody and I met. He's a South Bend, Mishawaka guy. And he and I became good buddies, and like I said, started brewing. He took it and ran with it. After he graduated, he was in the health field for a little while, and then kept up the home brewing hobby, and finally was offered a job by Gordon Biersch, actually, which is, if you're not familiar,
Yeah. No.
they're a chain. They're owned by the same company that owns Rock Bottom, which has a pretty good presence here in Indianapolis.
So chain brewery, but all independent. Each one is an independent brewery.
Right.
So he took the dive. He was looking for something different, and decided to go full time with Gordon Biersch. I think 4 or so years ago, and eventually made his way to become the head brewer at Gordon Biersch in Kansas City. So Cody Piskowski will be our head brewer coming in from Kansas City. Previously brewing
Awesome.
at Gordon Biersch, which if you've never been to a Gordon Biersch, their area of expertise is German and European beers and
Yes.
lagers. So
I've been there.
yeah, they're at a lot of airports, and
I
so
think there's one in Cincinnati, one in Louisville too. So there's some pretty close.
And they can
by.
get a bad rap on those kind. The chain ones can get
Yeah.
a bad rap, but
Right.
some of
They
them
can.
have some really good beers. And
Absolutely.
in a way, it's also though helpful if you're just trying to get in. I mean, come on, you get to play with big toys when you're trying to become
Totally.
a brewer.
yeah.
So I can understand taking that plunge. You
Yeah.
got to
Well-
deal with a little bit of flack sometimes from the
For sure.
purists.
Right.
And all
Right.
that. But yeah.
Well, let's just say when he and I brewed, he knew next to nothing about the process and about how everything worked and came together and how you ended up with what was in your cup. And the guy can lecture you up and down
Oh yeah.
about how things should go. He helped us design the system that we're bringing in here, which is a specific mechanical system which he brews on currently at his brewery in Kansas City. So we're excited about having him here. He also
Awesome.
brings a killer haircut and mustache.
Yes.
I mean,
yes,
he not only brews well, but he wears the part very well.
So the only stash I know is the porn stash. So is it anything
it's,
like,
oh,
it is-
man.
yeah.
I mean,
like
it
handlebars, or is it the curl?
he curls it.
He
I mean,
curls it
Oh.
like this.
the dude goes through a jar of wax a day on his mustache.
Wow.
It's unbelievable. It's
So much
unbelievable.
so that his significant other started making it on the side just so that he could afford the habit.
Wow. So what do you guys brew on currently? I know we've talked a lot about your system you're going to put in here, which obviously you guys are excited about. So what are you brewing on currently? Because you're obviously brewing.
At this point, we have to make sure that there's no TTB agents listening.
Yep. Oh no, I wouldn't.
Revenuers.
No,
Revenuers.
you're not brewing on anything. So
Yeah.
we
don't brew.
We bought this.
No, we brew on a one-barrel system in a barn in Boone County.
Okay.
Address unknown.
Gotcha. Understood.
It's not on Google Maps.
Yeah.
You're right.
So yeah, that
That's
that
what we
was
brew on, a one-barrel system that Bobby's been doing most of the brewing the last few years. But we started out, like everybody else, with a 5-gallon bucket, and then we went to 10 gallons, and then we went to 15 gallons, and then we went to
we're probably on
31 gallons. And
the most intense home brew system you could imagine right now. So,
Awesome.
it will be our pilot brew system here.
yeah, we'll still use it. We'll
it'll
use
be
it
a
for
pilot
any of
brew.
our specialty experimental batches, anything like that. And if it's good, if
Put it on the
things like
larger
this
system.
happen and everybody likes it, then we'll scale it on up. So
That's awesome.
that's the nice thing is bringing Cody in. He's got that professional experience, but he started as a home brewer, and we've been home brewing for a long, long time now, and so it's cool that I'm going to be able to make that jump to the big system with a guy that we know and that has kind of done the same thing that
cut our learning curve down.
For sure.
Definitely.
For sure.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So we're getting close to the end of the show. So what else do you guys want to tell the listeners about you guys? So I think we've already talked about that October is when the event center opens. So when the event center opens, can people come out and see you, or is that just going to be for events?
Right. Not the plan is until December, January. It won't be open to the public. It'll be just strictly events then. I mean, people will be able to get in and out, but it won't be open to the public in general until we open the tasting room. So,
So like we said, early November is when we'll start brewing on the 15 barrel, and then as soon as we think it's ready to serve, that's when.
Now, will you have food when the tasting room opens, or is that coming?
So the goal is, to have a basic food menu to go with. Anytime, right when we're selling beer, we want to have some food to go with it. So that's the goal. And then, so that'll be in the December, January time frame.
It'll be in vending machines and Funyuns and
and real Coke, none of that diet shit.
Oh,
we're
yeah.
coming back cholesterol.
Tons of sugar. Oh, yeah.
So we all know that when Pat comes here to eat, you guys are going to slip some molester in his food. Yeah. We already know that's coming.
Pat's special.
So we'll have a 3-4 month window until March, 16th, 17th. That's St. Patrick's Day weekend, and that's the goal for our grand opening. So,
awesome. the big deal is we don't want to overpromise right now because there's a lot of hurdles to get through. So, I mean in the reports are put out January 1. Tasting room and March Madness, St. Patrick's Day, wide open. So
cool, and
ramping it up from January till March till we're really ready to go.
Sounds good. So do you guys have any other festivals this year, or are you guys festivaled out?
No, we do actually. September we have the Whitestown Beer Fest. So that's the third.
We'll be here for that.
The third Whitestown Beer Fest, and we'll also be at Brew.
We missed our window on that.
Brown County, so we'll be at 2 in the same weekend. That's the weekend of September 15th.
Brendan and I were trying to get to that one. I know those guys. Jordan usually can on the weekend ones, but we tried to, but we wanted like the cabin because I'm not big on camping.
I'll be down there camping. I'll let you know.
All right.
We'll be at Whitestown Brew Fest with you, and then the next week we'll be at Noblesville Brew Fest.
Okay.
To round out our season, hopefully.
I think those
is there an end to the season?
No, we don't know, Jordan. We've got like 4 other festivals going through the winter too.
Oh, you guys are killing me.
No, I'm not. It's just they're out there. I mean, there's a lot more Winterfest, not just even Winterfest, which is later on, but.
Well, I know they're talking about Pumpkin Fest and all sorts of shit this year.
Yes, Pumpkin Fest. There's a few
others.
Speaking of that,
there's a Browderville
speaking of that, are you guys doing a pumpkin beer? Everybody tries one, usually
around
this time.
Not this year, Pat. I'm sorry to tell you,
well,
but
good.
not
That's
this
okay.
year.
I'm not big on
we go on the Great Pumpkin Search every year. That's why he's asking.
Yeah.
We really want to find a local winner here. It's been Southern Tier the last couple of years. Has been the best pumpkin beer out there.
Who's doing the best in Indiana right now? You guys think?
Haven't tried any yet.
Beer Brewery had a decent one last year.
But we haven't tried any this year yet.
Not this year. Last year, Beer Brewery had a pretty good one.
Okay. I think someone should do a pumpkin beer, but it's actually one of those oversized award winners from the state fair. You cut off the top, you throw your word in there, and you just do a wild ale in a pumpkin.
There you go. That'd be awesome.
Right. Damn, copyright Moontown Brewing Company 2017.
Oh, he got smart. Damn.
That's the best idea of the night. That was amazing.
So it's not necessarily overly pumpkin, but you could say it was brewed in a pumpkin.
There you go.
Oh, that would be so over the top pumpkin, dude. I mean,
awesome. But the funny thing is, most of the pumpkin beers we try, all they do is they throw nutmeg in it.
Oh, I know. That's what I was going to say.
Well, I take an ale, they throw a bunch of nutmeg, and they say, "Here's our pumpkin beer."
Put
and you're
a cinnamon sugar rim on the glass, and they call it a pumpkin.
See,
beer.
I'm looking forward, and I've said it on another show. I'm actually looking forward to Guardian up in Muncie.
Okay.
Because Guardian made, if you haven't, and you probably hadn't, it was a small batch, but what's the pie place
Wix.
they're with? Wix Pies. So
Wix
they did a sugar cream pie.
Oh, okay.
They literally dumped 10 pies. Not the whole pie, crust and all.
Yeah.
He said cleanup was a bitch.
Oh, I'm
but
sure,
they
I'm
dumped
sure.
like all the pie, crust and all.
Yeah.
Oh my!
It was amazing.
I bet
The sugar cream one. So I'm anxious. They said they were going to do the same thing with the pumpkin. So I'm kind of anxious to see how that one comes out and see if it comes out as tasty.
Yeah, because I'm looking for a pumpkin beer that doesn't taste like just nutmeg.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, this is our ale that we serve all year round, so we put a bunch of nutmeg in it, and then we serve it to you.
Little
I agree
allspice,
with you. I agree.
allspice,
That's
and
the
some
problem.
cream on top.
The pumpkin beer is just so gimmicky now.
Maybe we'll just brew a pumpkin beer. It's a pumpkin beer because we wear pumpkins on our heads while we brew.
I like it.
And we ferment it in a pumpkin.
I still, I like
Fermented
your
in a
pumpkin.
pumpkin. I like that.
I like
Let's make
getting
an
a bunch of
IPA
pumpkins.
in a pumpkin.
Or you may have to get a
Nobody's
bunch of
done that.
pumpkins. But
But,
I'd say
but with the wild yeast, it could turn sour, so it could be a sour pumpkin, which I've never had.
Hey, that could be.
So that could be a little
Copyright
funky.
Don't copyright
Right.
that. Stop it, Jordan. Stop it.
Quit talking out loud.
you're talking on the microphone. You're doing that crap.
No, I think the biggest thing to drive home about us, we want people to know is it's been a long time coming. If you know about Moontown, but it's really happening this year. So
we've been talking about you guys for like 2.5 years.
yeah,
so,
exactly. So,
we're like, we swear to God, these guys exist. We've had their beer. We personally tasted their beer.
No, we just really want it to be right.
Patience
you
will be
know?
worth it.
Yeah,
Patience will be rewarded.
What did we have at Jockey? What
The
was-
William.
The William.
That was
one of them.
Yep, William IPA. You
What
might
else
have. I
did
mean,
you
we
have?
brought about. I think what did we bring
Six beers.
There was another one.
Yeah.
There was another one we had to. You and I had
the
it.
Bam Bam is
We
one
had
of
the red
our.
there too.
The red. That's where I tasted
I had a
the
dark.
red
Didn't I have a
first.
darker
I
one?
had
there?
there was a darker one. Did you have a stout there?
Was it the breakfast?
Oh, we had the King of Troy lager. We had the Bam Bam. We had the red.
With the
We
William.
had the William, and we had a Kolsch as well. We had 5 beers. That's all.
I think
we
you were
had.
talking. I think you were thinking of the Round Town.
Oh, the Round Town one was the one that was the
dark-
coffee
yeah,
one.
the coffee
Oh,
one.
they brought
Okay.
what
Yeah.
they
No,
brought,
but no,
Irish
but
coffee.
The Irish
Oh,
coffee.
that
one.
Irish
That
that's
was
a nice
good.
beer.
No, but I
Yeah,
went to
that
Moontown
was
like 3 or 4
tasty.
times back because that's
That was
what,
'cause of the
that's
William.
What, that's what I was drinking. It was
I
the
think
William
it was
then.
the William.
It was the
Yeah,
We
William.
kept going back to
That's-
the William several
That's
times.
Yeah,
the first,
I drank
think
that
that's
entire
the
day.
first round you guys got, and
You want to talk about that rotating series? Do we have time?
Yeah, you
Yeah,
can
go ahead.
fine.
All right.
Well, that's what I was going to say too. Kind of about us is that, I mean, we're not going to limit ourselves as far as what we make. We do have styles that we like, but we know there's styles that lots of other people like that
We don't
we
necessarily
need to at least
like,
try
like
out.
pumpkin ales.
We don't necessarily like them either,
No.
but it's
Moontown pumpkin beer
what we
coming
do.
next year.
we have to go on the Great
2018.
Pumpkin search every year. It's just it's a blind pig thing that we do.
Yeah. Oh, that's
but,
fun.
But our goal
So-
is to we've kind of actually started it just a rotational IPA series. It doesn't matter if it's East Coast inspired or West Coast inspired or Midwest Coast inspired. That's a deviate thing,
Yeah.
and we like that idea too.
Do,
but
do you have a couple staples you think you'll kind of
oh yeah, absolutely.
what will your staples you think be?
Well, you've drank a couple.
Oh, most of
The
so
King
these
of
will be
Troy,
the
King of Troy is absolutely
Okay.
going to be a staple lager.
Gotcha.
That Summer Sunshine will probably be. I mean, it's in the name. It'll probably be available April through September. The Bam Bam is a wheat pale ale. I think you guys might remember drinking that
Yes,
one.
I
but
had
it's
that one. Yeah.
It's kind of an East Coast style pale, but it's it's something that we really like, and it will probably be a staple. Cody is a big on. Cody makes a Hefeweizen that he will absolutely bring on board.
Awesome.
Some traditional
I
lager,
like
a couple other traditional lagers, and
And stouts,
and that breakfast stout that'll be a rotational
Darks.
beer.
Okay.
some porters and stouts, some
Yeah.
porters.
Perfect.
You guys ever watch that show?
No, which one?
It's what is it? Brew
Brew
Dogs.
Oh
It's called Brew Dogs.
Yeah,
The
Scottish
Scottish
dudes.
guys on there.
Oh yeah.
Can I, pardon me, but do you serve a porter?
What?
Their accents are
They're just
you can't even
over the
understand
top
what they're saying.
Scottish. I love how he says porter.
Can you say that again? We don't make that kind here.
You got to
we
go.
We don't make that, sir. Please leave. Kindly.
We're also going to be very family friendly. So we will have a kids menu as part of the restaurant. We'll have an area designated for families to sit in. We'll have an outdoor area that will be family friendly as well.
Okay.
And then the event space, when it's open without an event and used for overflow and games, we'll definitely have an area within that space for families to come in and enjoy.
Nice.
We want everybody, big and small, in here, young and old. Obviously, the older ones over 21 drinking the beer, but that's what we envision happening. So.
Just one suggestion.
Yeah.
A combo Miss Pac-Man Gallagher arcade machine
Okay.
in the corner. Put my name on it. It's Bob. reserved for.
That could work. That could work for Bob.
Exactly. You know, that's why I went with
reserve.
Bob.
Reserve for Bob.
Reserve for Bob.
You can have this.
Nobody will ever know.
That's
Nobody will ever know.
You'll have the occasional just like jungle juice cooler full of jungle juice you get.
In the family friendly area. I don't know. That might be a good little crazy.
It's gonna be hot. There's gonna be some hot damn and some Goldschlager and all the crap just stuffed in a freezer like we all used to have.
Still haven't cleaned out my freezer in a while.
You still have that crap in your freezer from high school?
I think so. Damn. I just bring it from house to apartment to house, and it's still there. Bottom's half crystallized.
There you go, see? What was that?
Crystals up to the top.
Yeah.
Freezer burn.
Stuff's nasty.
Are those the kind that heal you, or are those the crystals that they're talking about? Or
we used to dare each other to eat the
I think that's
crystals
Fireball crystals.
yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Always made me sick. So
Yeah,
probably not.
I never ate the crystals.
Goldschlager made with real gold flakes.
Yes, because when you want to poop sparkly.
Hey, dude, have you ever tried to harvest that gold after a big poop?
No.
It's messed up, dude.
Don't try it.
Don't do it. I know
Can't
from
reuse
experience.
it. Oh, all right.
terrible.
It's good to know now.
Wow.
On that note,
yeah. All right, guys. Well, thanks for having us out and let us come in the brewery.
Awesome.
It is so amazing to see this place before it's finished. Can't wait to come back like December, sit down in the tap room, have some beers with you guys, and see what it looks like when it's basically all done. So
please keep us posted.
Yeah,
Any announcement you want to make, we'll
Absolutely.
be more than happy to throw it on our cast and
Cool.
through
Yeah,
our
we'll definitely
Facebook
stay in
page.
touch.
So
Thanks for coming out to us. We really appreciate you guys sitting down with us.
I want to say that I love the family ambiance that you have going on, not just like from your history, but that you're going to continue it going with the brewery. I know some brewers get lost in that aspect, and they just like, hey, let's go make a quick buck and this and that. And it's looked like you guys, even though it's a business, you want to keep it local. You want to keep it family. You want to keep it true.
Absolutely.
And I'm going to throw it on the mic now. I'm going to predict that's what's going to make you guys successful. The
Great.
beer
Thank
speaks for itself. What is where it comes from is what's going to keep it going.
I agree with that.
Totally applaud
Really
you guys
appreciate
for
that.
And we want to be here for a long time too. So I think that'll help.
sounds good. All right. Thanks,
All right,
guys.
guys.
Cheers.
Yeah, thanks
Thank
so much.
you. Cheers. Prost.
There's a place called a gin mill way down in the slums. There's a place called a gin mill way down in the slums. My baby goes that night and stays till the morning comes.